Made a mockery of games. Oh boy.
Let's
Oh
see what's
boy, oh
going on.
boy.
EA.
Andrew Wilson is about to step on stage. He's EA's CEO, and the company's stock is near its all-time high. That's good news, but Andrew knows what's on the line. He knows that if their plan does not land, the stock will fall.
That's always
he
what
knows that
happens.
if that happens, he'll spend his already scheduled TV interviews having to play defense. The day is September 17th. The event is EA Investor Day.
The thing is that he is so good at looking like the villain CEO of an evil video game company. It's
crazy analogy.
It's so good.
2024, and it's the first time they've held this event in 8 years.
Yeah.
You and me, we think video games. We think just make good games, they will sell well, and
Imagine
your
that.
investors will be happy.
Pretty much.
But I think we both know that it's not really like that in reality. Generically, we can judge someone by how they treat service staff. In a situation like this, we can judge an executive team by how they talk to investors. Because it's not about you or I. If
I'm going to be honest. That was actually a really, really great point. Well, let's listen to that again.
We can judge someone by how they treat service staff. In a situation like this, we can judge an executive team by how they talk to investors. Because
those are the people that matter.
Yeah.
Those are the people that they're actually listening to. 100%.
it's not about you or I.
The
If
people that's
Dragon Age
paying
is
you.
good, that won't fundamentally change the business of EA. It won't trigger a stock rally that will be great for the shareholders, which of course does include the executives, because they, in large part, are compensated with stock. Now that paints a dramatic and simplistic view of things. In reality, it's a bit more like this. Andrew needs to convince Jim. Now, we don't know Jim, but let's just say that Jim is a pension manager. Jim doesn't exactly know what a video game is, but he does know the games industry is pretty important. Jim also knows that AI is big, so when Jim thinks about where he puts his pension fund as the fund manager, well, Jim's going to want to hear what Andrew's got to say about AI. And that is how today's story happens. And if you don't want to end up like one of the Jims of the world...
Well, you have to keep in mind, too, the reason why a lot of these companies are using AI is because AI works. AI has worked incredibly well.
Right.
Especially with like customer support and shit like this. Yeah. It's not like they're... like, I understand, like, obviously he's going for the angle that, like, you know, these are like buzzwords where it's like, you know, blockchain was a buzzword in 2021, AI is the new buzzword. But the difference, I think, is AI is actually creating, you know, products. It's creating value, whereas blockchain and NFT stuff never actually created value.
Sharpen up with today's sponsor. We're going to help you transform doom scrolling time into skills you can be proud of. It's brilliant.org/BellularNews, and they help me benefit from tech rather than be hijacked by it by making learning fun and interactive, where you'll be learning by doing across thousands of interactive lessons in maths, data analysis, programming, and AI, all on their site and app that is... Research shows that learning like this is 6 times more effective than watching lecture videos, and that is no surprise to me. I remember things and projects that I've done life useful. I mean, in a role-playing game, you would not enter a dungeon under leveled. And as an example, in your LLM's work, it's
To see this because, like, he's right that a lot of these things that people talk about, they don't really understand. And it's like, you can see how this is very complicated, and that's why people always focus on, like, you know, transgender stuff.
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale.
Always focus on, like, you know, transgender stuff.
things. So I want to be prepared so I can tackle tomorrow's challenges from a place of understanding, not panic. And that would be hard to do if it was boring, but of course Brilliant makes it fun and interactive. So take that doom scrolling, turn it into a daily learning habit at brilliant.org/BellularNews, where you will get a 30-day free trial and 20% off an annual plan. EA Investor Day 2024 then. Look, I care about the games first. So here's what we learned on the games front before we jump into the delicious fun.
Massive success. College football this year, massive success.
There is.
I even wish I played it. And I don't got a console. I wish I played it. They didn't come out for PC. I don't know why, but Massive success.
Be a third Jedi game. Skate will hit Steam Early Access in 2025. They say that Apex Legends regained player sentiment when they altered their rather reviled business model to make it a little bit nicer.
Yeah,
But,
they basically doubled the amount of battle passes you had to buy.
because of that, well, they
Yeah.
have said that they've missed their revenue targets in the game because, said reduction in cash grabbing. As for Battlefield, well, it's got 4 studios and a tech team working on it. There's a game with single-player, multiplayer, and alleged BR features that has been tested internally for over a year, with public testing next year. And finally, for the games, The Sims. There will be
Right.
no
They have failed in BR. Not gonna lie. Battlefield has failed in BR.
Sims 5.
Battlefield has been failing for the past couple of years.
Sims 4 gets
This is it's crazy how fucking bad this is.
Sims 4 gets
This
No
finally
way.
for the games,
No way, that's Sims.
The Sims.
Not with Enzoy coming out, this is Sims.
There will be
Right.
no Sims 5. Sims 4 gets
this is it's
Oh,
crazy
wow.
how
Oh, this is
fucking
short.
bad this is. Like if you compare, like how do you expect to exist in the market? What's that game? Korean Sims game. What's it called again? Enzoy.
Enzoy.
Look at this. It's not even remotely
They can't even compete.
close. Like how can they have any? Look at this.
That's too realistic to that shit.
It's not even. Oh my god. It's so much better. They don't have a chance.
constant updates,
Ew.
a mobile and multiplayer experience, alongside a movie and a brand-wide platform. Thrilling stuff, but, not the point today. Investors are the point. Investors do want more games, more widgets, but they also know generative AI is important. And, that's why everybody else is a bit angry at EA. I hope you're ready to make it
I would
more
be too.
epic. And yes,
Yep.
make it more epic.
Of course.
Is a quote here, extracted by Jeff Keighley alongside a video showcase of
Make it more epic.
what EA call imagination to creation. Which is pretty
Man.
cringe. We see in this a chatbot interface and a game engine.
Uh-huh.
Pretty simple. You give it text, tell it what to do, and it places
Epic
stuff.
graphics.
You
Yeah,
ask for some
super epic,
characters
guys.
for your game. A little pop-up appears. You select your characters,
Mm-hmm.
and our demo sees a grenade-based, multi-level box maze PvP experience. That's lots of fun, but fun's not enough. We need spectacle, and that is when the words happen.
Make
Yep.
it more epic. Wow. Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
I really wish that I could be in that room just so I could see what the reactions of like the different investors would be. Like, do you actually have like these 65-year-old boomers that don't know how to use like a smartphone and they're like
Anyone with $10,000 or more in
boomers that don't know how to use like a smartphone and they're like, "Oh. I wonder, right?" What are they?
Yo.
Yeah, is there a gasp or are they like, okay,
They're like-
it's another one of these?
That's awesome.
Looks fake as
Yeah,
hell.
you heard it. Make it more epic. And,
Yeah.
a pyramid appears on the horizon for some reason.
Pyramids
Yeah.
are epic.
They need that Unreal Engine 5, bro. They don't want to pay.
It makes sense of this. Here's the plan. Give this system a massive library of assets and code. Wrap it in a user-generated content product akin to, say, Fortnite or Roblox. Players make things using no code, and there you go, infinite content. Of
This
course,
is something that a lot of companies are trying to play catch up on with Roblox because I think Roblox unintentionally or intentionally, but I think that they lucked into making the first metaverse. Roblox has had all these games come out of it that have been player created, and you can use characters in interacting in these other games. Like Roblox has actually done this, and I think that other companies like Epic sees this, like with Fortnite, because Fortnite's trying to do the same thing, and then you see EA trying to do the same
Never
thing.
played Roblox,
Now
bro.
they're following it. Yep, I play Roblox. There you go. It's the sandbox game. It is. And I think that they just made the first metaverse, and I feel like nobody's talking about that.
I look at this, you look at this, and we think, ugh, that's slop.
It
we
is slop.
know that a good game needs fine-tuned balance. We know it's the design that makes something good, not
Yes.
just what's generically learnt from an EA dataset.
But Bill at the investor call might not understand that. True.
This is not Halo Forge.
Last
this
time
is
I
not
played a
mapping
game
and time
was in an
splitters
arcade.
or some unhinged Gary's mod
In
map.
18,
No, it is none of those
1813.
things. It is awful looking. It does not appear to be fun. But for investors, they don't understand any of that. The bull case for them is
play
a
Donkey
true
Kong.
step change in efficiency. You see, the company exists to generate shareholder value. Remember the Embracer Group? I just love one of the quotes from Lars, who's the CEO of basically, our overriding principle is shareholder value, and that is, of course, said in the context of all the lovely things that Embracer Group did. But that's just how these companies run. And when one looks...
To be fair, every company that is publicly traded has a fiduciary responsibility to maximize shareholder value. This is a literal fact. Every company is like this. It's just the way it is.
price of a company, often profitability and a expectation of growth are priced into the current price. So if you want your stock to go more than just sideways, you need a big exciting bull case.
This is very true. And I think Bellier is bringing up a really good point with this. And this is what's happened a lot, is that companies are trying to capitalize. So what a lot of companies... Okay, so let me take a step back. The way that a lot of investment works, there are a lot of companies that take a literal fucking buckshot approach to investing. And it's not completely uninformed, but they are willing to take 100 shots, miss 99 of them, hit one, go to the moon, make the money back from the 99, write the loss of the 99 off on their taxes, and then they keep making more money. That's the way it works. And so what happens is that the way that you can attract those types of investors is by promising something that is not fully understandable. Like the scope of AI isn't a square. People don't know what the ceiling for it is right now. And that's the reason why NFTs were so popular, or blockchain was so popular, or anything is popular that you cannot accurately figure out what the market cap for it is, because people always assume that it's way higher. So what happens is that if you're looking for something that has a dedicated audience, it's a defined product, and this defined product has a product, lifespan of 2 years, and you're going to make 12% of your money back. Companies don't give a fuck about that as much as they give a fuck about that chance, the chance of making a 1,000% return. And that's the issue. It's that all of these companies are playing for that revenue, and also investors make decisions based off of that, and even individuals make decisions based off of that because they want that big 2000x. Everybody wants to be the one who invests into the next NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA now, Google from before, Amazon, many companies are like this. It's very common.
Need something to show people. You need a little bit of FOMO saying, this is our direction. It is big, its results will be big, and it is not priced into the market yet. So if you're a rational investor, you should put your money here with us, because we are looking to the future. And with a system like this, they want to solve the problem.
Because nobody knows how high a future goes, but people do know what existing markets are. And that's why that's why metaverse is so big, because metaverse is everything. How big is metaverse? It's as big as you want it to be. How big is AI? It's as big as you want it to be. That's how you get money.
The game is business. And that's game developers. You see,
Yep.
the thing is, you can only make so many video games. Our species only produces a small number of game developers, but every member of the species is a potential consumer. How do you get around this problem? We all know the game projects don't always work out. Sometimes they backfire. And from
They
that
do.
excerpt from Jason Schreier's book that was posted in Bloomberg, well, we know that one of the CFOs who was thrown into Blizzard Entertainment, who came from the soap industry, that individual just thought, you can make more games by opening up more development offices, which is all.
Base soap guy. Well, if you want more games, just make more games. Well, if we have If we have 5 games, we're making $5 million. Why don't we make 10 games and make $10 million? Guys, I just doubled our revenue.
Obviously not how it works, but it does show that there's a class of executive investor who genuinely does not understand how this industry works. So that's why a case like this, a sell like this, in EA Investor Day is pretty good.
And by the way, you want to hear another person I'm pretty sure is a beneficiary of this is Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, I'm pretty sure, sold broadcast TV back in a time where people projected the internet having infinite growth, and he sold it for like $1 to $3 billion. And the people that as far as I know, the people that he sold it to lost their ass on this. Like, they never really made a lot of money back off of it. And why is that? Because again, it's projections that are undefinable. That's where the big money comes in. Yeah, Yahoo, right? Internet radio, yeah. It was fucking delusional.
Yeah, internet radio. Oh my god, XM. They lost mad money.
He sold to Yahoo? Yeah.
The idea
he sold to Yahoo. How are they doing?
is you build user-generated content tools. You have people make their own maps and modes. You then monetize the platform and give yourself a massive split because, of course, if you monetize the platform, you can just recruit your users to make the content.
Naturally.
And if you do that successfully, congratulations. You can now grow exponentially as a technology platform with content made by your users, and you don't really need to be constrained by, hiring good development teams.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that is the Roblox method. The children yearn for the mines. And they found ways to put themselves to work. Instead of being in the mine, now they're in Minecraft.
It's obviously the opposite of why we like games, but to investors, it's catnip.
I don't think that's even true. I think that people love player-created content. And I think that, for example, all of the mods for Dark Souls are a great example of that. People love mods and people love player-created content. It's not even that it's a bad thing. It's that the company defining a business model and building a business model around it is a cynical approach to creating value for shareholders. And it ultimately is just about getting free labor from people that, are doing work for you. That's really what's happening.
For investors who want more AI in their portfolio, but they don't want to be too consolidated in Nvidia and Microsoft. And that's why, looking at this video, it all looks like bullshit. We look at the UI, we laugh at the obvious fakery. We look at how the character selection screen is obviously a mock-up and is pulling in characters that just make no cohesive sense. But the investors are blind to that. Instead, they feel safe knowing that in the face of Roblox and Fortnite, EA is demonstrating a robust user-generated content strategy, but one that is built with artificial intelligence at its core.
I think this is a huge problem, by the way, and it's like a huge economic problem at scale, that you have a lot of investment that's being made without any sort of informed decision-making process.
Right. They don't know the direction.
That are doing the investing don't understand what they're spending their money on.
What's the point?
This is a huge issue.
The best bit, though, for us is that we can look at EA's recent track
PC
record,
bait?
Including
Absolutely.
a track record that they think is so good they can show it to their investors. For you and me, though, we just get to have a free laugh. EA Football Club 2025. Pretty awesome.
You're looking at the future, boys. There it is.
Don't have to give FIFA licensing money and you got all of the same Ultimate Team revenue. This time, though, promoted by the AI husk of cover star Jude Bellingham. Yes, I want you to...
so they got rid of FIFA.
There it is.
Hey, yo, that's some more.
Don't have to give FIFA licensing money and you got all of the same Ultimate Team revenue. This time, though, promoted by the AI husk of cover star Jude Bellingham. Yes, I want you to assume the brace position. Imagine the plane is about to go down. You need to assume the brace position because it's the only way you're going to survive this cringe.
Let's see what Jude said.
It's like a dream come true. Stepping onto the pitch for the first time, it was a surreal feeling. I mean, I grew up watching Real Madrid. I even played as them in the end.
Natural and high utility interactions.
This is the AI shit.
Where? This is the worst it will be. I agree that EA is making a good decision by investing into AI, but I find it to be silly that their use case that they're showing is really not very good.
Games with my brother Joe. So to actually play for real in front of all those fans, it's something you can't really explain.
EA actually did this. They thought this was shippable and a good idea. But it kind of gets worse. It brings me to Project Air. You will love this.
They're gonna
Mr.
sell us
Wilson
Air?
assures me and you that, quote, AI is not merely a buzzword to us. You know he has a deep passion and conviction.
By the way, like, I want to say that I think AI is the future. I think that
Definitely
AI
is.
is going to be how businesses are built. And I think that if you don't acclimate to that and adapt to it, you will be beaten by people who do. It's like the internet, or it's like any other form of technology that can improve progress or production. AI isn't special.
Tomorrow AI will
It's
be
just
our
like
new
anything
god.
else.
AI live
and
streamers.
conviction that has led to this. Here's how EA described Project Air, right? Project Air lets us build characters that we, the consumer, can have experiences with. I mean, I don't know about you, fellow consumer, but I enjoy having experiences with characters. But as a cute flourish to really show off their technology in action, enter Ace Desai, legendary investor, world-renowned venture capitalist
Here we
who
go.
knows how to play his cards right. Stunning stuff, but that's just a character bio. No, as EA themselves said, we need to be able to have experiences with Ace. Because while Ace Desai is not a real person, Ace Desai has been created by EA's new Project Air. They entered the prompt. I'm thinking a high-stakes PC who swims in the waters of innovation. With that prompt, our man is created, Ace Desai. They then decide to give Ace a challenge. This, of course, is the experience. How about pitching him a business idea and seeing if I can lock in an investment? Now, to be clear, this is not some sort of elaborate joke. They actually showcase this, the idea of making your own character, having experience with him. They thought they'd do this legendary investor character as a way to be cute towards the attending audience for EA Investor Day
naturally.
2024. Obviously, if they were going to be a bit more targeted to the gamers, they would have made it altogether a lot more steamy and related to the Dragon Age franchise.
Sure.
Anyhow,
Probably
it's
would have still
obvious
been bad, though.
bullshit. They want to get to a place where they don't need to rely on game development efforts and patch cycles and content cadences, where they want this stuff to just be existing and users creating the content for themselves, all in a way
This
where
will happen. I think that it will happen to a lesser extent. And I think Roblox is an example of that. The problem isn't that EA is doing it. It's that EA is doing it in a way that is reactive to the market rather than proactive and creating their own demand inside of the market. And I think that's what a lot of investors should try to realize, is that what EA is doing is they're trying to copy what the existing trend is while operating behind the trend. You just can't do that anymore. That doesn't work.
EA continually.
You wanna
get
push one
paid.
button to make a game?
Obviously,
Yeah.
though, that is far off. Let's today talk about what they're doing in the video games right now.
Oh,
So
boy.
we've just survived a whole bunch of investor buffoonery, the sorts of things that Andrew Wilson will be saying to
Yeah.
investors to basically get them thinking that EA is amazing. But let's talk about the concrete, how it actually impacts how we play games and how games are made. There's a few examples. Whenever they talk about using AI for EA Sports College Football, what they mean is using machine learning stuff, right?
Yeah, of
using
course.
photos to map 150 stadiums and 11,000 players. They did that as pre-production, which then allowed for the full development of the game to start with all the assets that they needed.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
that's a really good usage of that technology. How else are you going to get like college football with 11,000 players and all of the different stadiums? How are you going to get that in the game, especially for, say, your local team? That is pretty cool. Whenever EA president Laura Mele says that the Sims platform is going to use AI to take a player request and surface matching content from a library of 100 million assets, she is reasonable. I mean, maybe that's standard machine learning. Maybe they do use a large language model to sort of process the
Well,
player.
this is a good thing. Like, all of this is good. Everything about this is good. Of course they're going to do this. Wow, what a big surprise. And also, again, the reason why they're doing it is, like, number one, it can make the game better, but more importantly, it can make them able to make the game with less effort and less money. and they don't have to pay people to do that. Because why the fuck would they want to deal with a bunch of unionizing, liberal, like these like, oh, well, we don't like AI. We're not going to do this. We want a lunch break. We don't want to have to work overtime. Why would they want to deal with them?
True.
Fuck that. You just have a robot do it. It's not even a
That's
question.
true.
The problem with that is they're taking AI. Is that eventually anyone in America could create their own game at the click of a button, making them entirely redundant? Yeah, but they'll make money until that happens.
Request, but that's the kind of thing that makes sense and in many ways has existed for a long time.
Jesus.
Because be it a modern smartphone camera, a Google search, or so many things that we've been using for the last 2 decades, it's existed under the name of machine learning for years and years and years. The difference is that to promote this to investors, you gotta wrap it up in a sexier package, one that they can understand, one that looks similar to the thing that made Nvidia explode in stock price.
Exactly.
And that's why regular run-of-the-mill machine learning is just going to be called AI, even though
This has been happening for probably 2 or 3 years now. That machine learning is effectively just called AI.
its intelligence is so
Pretty much any time that a computer makes a decision, it's AI now.
singular and limited that it's not
Everyone's
really
fat. Yeah, I know. It looks like garbage. How do you play this and be like, oh wow, I want to look like the worst character in Jersey Shore, or like this weird, like kind of overweight lady. I mean, like, what is this? Why would anybody do this? Like, it's weird, pure
And this, of
garbage.
course, extends to techniques that enable better
So
upscaling,
bad.
that maybe aid you in photogrammetry, like we saw in sports college football, that enables your small local college stadium to actually be in a video game. But the thing is that to investors, those don't really matter. Seeing AI matters, and that makes our job hard. Because by the definition that companies use to sell
shaking.
themselves to investors,
No.
Blizzard Entertainment uses artificial intelligence on World of Warcraft. What they actually do is they use machine learning to resize helmets to
Yeah, of
fit
course.
different races, because that's grunt work that no artist wants to do. And so we end up in this strange situation where, to the C-suite, AI is just another chance to signal that they're a forward-looking, investable company. We've been here with crypto. Almost every major company topped up having deeply integrated crypto plans.
Thank God that died. I was so worried it was actually I wasn't really worried it wasn't going to get popular, because it was just like I understood like how dumb it was. But man, sometimes it's crazy to look back on 2021 and 2020 and see just how delusional and stupid people were. They were selling JPEGs of a monkey to each other for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Facts.
How did this happen?
That's crazy.
This is crazy.
Much of that has actually happened in a way that has moved
That's
the
used to no
needle for
value?
a
No, it
consumer.
doesn't.
I mean, it's basically not happened. But what I would say is that AI and how it's developing now is more powerful. It sparks more ethical dilemmas. And so in the very best instance, a professional can work out how to use new technologies in their workflow, be that traditional machine learning, or yes, even using a large language model. I do actually use large language models a fair bit. Do you know what it's for? Some copy editing stuff, red teaming my own work because I just know that I have some pitfalls as a writer, and just having a more accurate spell check. That's really useful, but the point is most of what I've done for the last 10 years is writing. I know what good looks like, so I know how to use a new tool to make my human creativity better. But that's the problem here. That's the best case scenario. Best is not default. And right
That is what will happen, though. And that best case scenario will be what gets defaulted to, because somebody in the market will deliver that and they will outperform people who don't. That's what's going to happen. It's not like they're going to replace everybody. They're going to replace 80% of people and have the remaining 20% do all the work.
Cox Business.
Now, incentives steer us in the opposite direction. That's why Electronic Arts spent an investor day humiliating themselves to their customers and to their workers. Because for the workers, they see this They know it looks bad, and the best that they can expect is to receive half-baked tools made by engineers working to the specs of executives. And that is why I, even as somebody who by default is a techno-optimist, have a little bit of a dim view of where this stuff is going to go. I can see these things being used well. I can see the technology unlocking better opportunities.
Yeah, I'm very positive about it too.
I know the people who actually have the power, who actually move the needle, well, they are the ones that have just forced AI into insert whatever normal consumer application you use where it is unwelcome, unhelpful, and at best just promotes the factory farming of slop content. And that's why we must always...
The thing is that that's true, but
EA been on a
like there's a
downhill for a
reason
while
why
now.
companies are doing that. And I think that in a lot of cases, like you are seeing customer service be replaced by bots. And I'll be honest, guys, I learned this from Taco Bell. So I'm like 90% sure that Taco Bell uses AI to take your order because I go to Taco Bell and I order and I get the food I ordered. That would never happen back in the day. It's unheard of. So it's like, how is it that you got my order wrong probably like 60% of the time, and now you never get the order wrong? That's AI. There's some sort of computer fuckery that's happening here because there's no way they decided to hire smart people. I know that. I look at them when I get my food. They're not any smarter than they were 10 years ago. But the computer's smart.
Hey, yo, that's fucking
Speech
crazy.
recognition is an AI. Well, like that's what Belluer was saying, right? Is how like all types of computers making decisions are referred to as AI. That's like the whole point of like what he was making in the video.
That makes sense.
Examine the incentives, just like what we did investigating the implosion of one of indie gaming's greatest publishers. Watch it next. There's even a billionaire island involved.
Oh, boy.
How can you not click? It's going to replace my face in like half a second.
The shocking. Oh, uh-oh. It's the cat island. AI is only as smart as how much resources it has to capitalize on. Yeah, but I think that this is going to continue. Like, let me link you guys the video. I think I am very, very, very optimistic about AI. I think AI is going to keep growing and keep getting bigger. And I don't think that it's going to stop anytime soon. It's going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger because that's why. Because I honestly, I think it works, right? Like you wouldn't see so many people, and also AI and automation. I think that like the two things are very interchangeable. People talk about them interchangeably a lot. And with both of these things, I think abso-fucking-lutely, you're going to see way more people pushing it and way more people using it. And also, I think it's very telling that the people who are working in these industries, like for example, like those guys that are working at the longshoremen, why are they against automation? Because it's good. That's the reason why they're against it. People would have no reason to fight against a system that was broken or dysfunctional. They wouldn't be threatened by it.